I feel so official right now.
I'm gonna start actually with our sourdough starter.
Ooh! If you're watching this video, you're one of us. That was one of my other questions.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Do you sell sourdough starter? I don't know what I'm doing here. Look at my hands right here. Look at my hands right here. My kids don't help me. Judy doesn't help me. Do other people use their abdomen like this? Okay, sorry to...
It's like a bagel.
Is this okay?
Yeah.
Wow. Cheers.
Cheers.
Sourdough pizza. I am obsessed with it. I feed it to my girls all the time. I've been making it religiously for the past 5 years now. Probably made about 1,000 sourdough pizzas, but I've had so many questions about how to make it better, what's the proper process. I learned a lot on YouTube, but today I get to ask an actual baker who specializes in sourdough bread, and he makes his own sourdough pizza dough as well. So we're gonna go in here and I'm gonna show you guys everything I learned, the whole process, and hopefully share some of his secrets with you guys about how to make the best sourdough pizza. The Cottage Bakery. This is in Edmonds, Washington. I mean, look at this. I mean, that's legit when there's stacks of flour right in the front. And obviously they're serving some customers with some bread. We're gonna go in there right now. Oh my gosh, I'm secretly really hungry too. Look at this, look at this, look at this. Smells awesome. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of bread here. I heard most of their bread is all sourdough too. Oh baby. Let's go find this baker. I'm very hungry right now. Are these free samples over here?
Yes, free samples.
Right there? Okay, cool, thank you. Coffee cake? Okay. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. You know, a baker that gives free samples, that's a good bakery. We're here. I've literally never been here, so I don't know what I'm shooting. Oh my gosh, I could feed my whole family with this thing. All right, so I'm guessing this is all the fixings for the pizza. All right, I'm finally meeting Connor.
What's up, y'all?
Are you the head baker and the owner of this bakery?
I'm just the owner now, so
Okay.
I've kind of passed the torch.
Oh, okay,
which
cool.
is nice.
So you don't bake a lot?
I don't bake a ton, but I'm super stoked any chance I do.
You probably still eat what gets baked here, though, right?
Absolutely, yeah, all the time.
Connor is the one that's gonna show me everything in terms of sourdough bread, but especially sourdough pizza, because I don't know if Cameron told you, I've been making sourdough pizzas for 5 years now.
Wow.
I make at least 4, if not 6 to 8 pizzas a week, but everything I know is from YouTube. I've never actually talked to an actual baker.
Sure.
So this is cool, so thank you so much.
Absolutely.
So where do we start?
Yeah, we're gonna make a bunch of pizza here. I've got a bunch of dough.
Okay.
I could even kind of show you around.
Do I need to have a uniform or something on?
You can, yeah. You can start with this apron.
Okay,
here.
this apron? Okay, here. I feel so official right now.
Yeah, you're just like one of us.
You know what's funny? I never wear an apron when I'm at home to make pizza though.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's something like I just get right into
right
it.
into it.
Yeah, but I do wear aprons when I'm cooking, but when I do when I do sourdough pizza, no. Like, and I'm always messy and there's flour everywhere.
That's awesome. I'm gonna start actually with our sourdough starter.
Ooh.
It's right here, and we actually keep it in a 30-gallon drum.
Okay.
Which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
We feed this twice a day, once in the morning and once in the evening.
When I'm gonna make sourdough pizza and I'm getting my starter going in the morning, I leave it in the fridge, right? And I take it out usually the night before or whenever,
Sure.
right? Gets up to room temperature. I put more flour, more water, and the rule of thumb for me is as long as those are equal with whatever starter's left in the jar, it needs to double in size before I put it into the dough mixture. Is that a good rule?
I think that's a good rule of thumb.
What do you guys do? Because it sounds like it's maybe more than double.
Yeah, so there's a few schools of thought with sourdough.
Okay.
Our, process requires our sourdough to be ambient, so at room temperature all the time. We never
all the time?
We actually never refrigerate our sourdough starter.
What?
Yeah.
That was one of my other questions.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's just, but you're always feeding it.
We are, yeah.
Because if you don't feed it, it kind of like almost dies, right?
For sure, yeah. You've got to feed it. You've got to be very consistent with your feeds too.
Okay.
I think that's kind of one of the number one things I'll recommend to young bakers is where's your sourdough starter at as far as consistency with your feeds. So that's going to be the number one thing I'll look at if I'm helping somebody with their sourdough process.
Okay.
It's basically just a honey gate attached to a 30-gallon drum.
Yeah.
And this allows our mixer to extract the amount of starter or levain that they want.
Okay.
That's our sourdough starter. We move kind of throughout the bakery here. These mixers are designed to mix lots of bread. As you can see, it's a little bit bigger than your KitchenAid at home.
Yeah, my wife always gives me crap about me not using my KitchenAid mixer. because I insist on using my hands.
Oh, sure.
Like, so I was the one that bought this fancy evergreen, like nice one with a wooden bowl or whatever, and we use it mostly when the kids want to mix something or like when we're doing some other kind of big thing. But when I'm doing pizza dough, I feel like there's so much measuring happening with my fingers and my hands.
Absolutely.
That I don't know, and I can't like really gauge by mixing it. What's your thoughts on that for the
Totally.
home baker? And is that a true like thing?
I do, yeah. I think a large part of baking comes down to intuition, like feeling what the dough feels like.
Like I said, I can feel it with my fingers when something is different. I'm the guy that's so obsessed with sourdough that I literally stare at my starter just to see like, is it growing faster right now?
Yeah,
Right? I
you're
just
not
like,
alone. Yeah, you're not alone in that. That's awesome.
we know who you are. If you're watching this video, you're one of us. Oh my
Different
gosh.
than any other oven you've probably ever
Because
seen.
the oven matters.
That oven absolutely matters.
Let's
Yeah.
go look at the oven.
Let's do that.
Okay. This won't fit in my kitchen. This won't fit in my kitchen.
Yeah, this one's pretty sweet.
Okay.
This is what's called a deck oven.
Okay.
So this is designed to make bread at scale.
Oh my.
One of the things that's really cool and necessary for baking pizza is you need an oven that gets pretty hot.
Really
as you
hot,
know.
yeah. I try to get it as hot as possible for as long as possible too.
Yeah.
Like I'll literally let it sit there for an hour at the 500.
I think that's great.
What's like your favorite temperature? Obviously, we'll do it a little bit later. And what would you tell home bakers, especially ones making sourdough pizza at home?
Yeah.
What temp they should get it at?
As hot as your oven can go, that's what I recommend to all of our customers that come in and get some pizza dough. Retention, that's a huge part of home baking because your home oven doesn't really do a great job of retaining that heat. We sort of want to mimic what you see in those like nice Italian like brick ovens.
Yeah.
Those are incredible for baking pizza because they can get so hot and they can retain that heat pretty well. Yeah, absolutely.
Of course, my dough is probably way different than yours. My dough, I do at 500 degrees for exactly 13 minutes, but I'm not putting it on a stone.
Yeah.
I'm putting it on a blue steel pan.
Oh, great.
But yeah, like I need to really transition to having a pizza stone.
Yeah.
Because that also is retaining the heat. This has the stones on there, right?
It does.
Oh, God.
Yeah, the stones here are about 3 inches thick too. So again, back to that heat retention. This is
Yeah.
going to help you retain the heat in the deck oven.
And you
as
can
well as
feel
you
the
can.
heat, so that's a good sign right
Absolutely.
there. Connor, I apologize if this is kind of rude, but I'm literally starving. I'm like, I skipped lunch. I had a tiny little breakfast. Is there something I can try, like before we like
Absolutely.
start? Like, what are you thinking?
Yeah,
By the
we
way,
should-
I'm not saying it because there's bread right next to me.
we
I was
should
gonna
try
tell
some
you
bread.
from the beginning. Okay, cool, yeah.
Green onion sesame focaccia.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, let's cut into it.
Let's do it.
Before we get into it. Okay, even though I came here to make pizza, I'm really excited because I love everything sourdough bread.
Green onion sesame focaccia. So it's our fluffy focaccia dough, and this is actually a yeasted dough, so it's not sourdough.
Okay.
Like most of our other breads are.
It smells like green onions.
It's so.
I love green onions. It's one of my favorite
wow.
ingredients in the kitchen. So this is like, it was like meant to be. And it's crazy that there's only one in here. There we go. Oh my gosh.
So this was inspired by like a scallion pancake. I don't know if you've ever had a scallion pancake.
Yeah, like the Korean ones, right? Yeah.
Our lead baker, Sarah, she ideated this about a year ago.
Okay.
And so yeah, it's got actual green onions
my
inside.
gosh.
It's topped with black sesame seeds and flaky Malden sea salt.
Should I put butter on it? Just eat it like this at
You
first.
can eat it just like this.
Okay.
There's plenty of olive oil in here too.
This is hitting the spot. I'll tell you what. It really does have that Korean pancake feel to it,
Yeah.
like on the tongue.
Absolutely. It's nice and savory. A lot of our customers will make sandwiches out of this one.
I feel like I'm at a Korean restaurant, but I'm also in a bakery, feeding my hunger right now. All right, time to make pizza. Are we gonna do anything with the starter? Are you gonna grab your starter
We
first?
can,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
grab the starter. We're gonna mix everything for the dough, and then he's gonna show me his whole process. Then we're gonna end by making a pizza in that oven. So, all right. So what's the first thing we're doing?
We're just gonna gather our ingredients
Okay,
here
cool.
for our pizza dough.
Let me guess.
Yeah.
What the ingredients are: flour,
Absolutely.
water,
Yep.
starter,
Starter.
and salt.
That's correct. We do add some
Olive oil?
Yeah, we do.
I don't. Why do you add olive oil?
It allows the dough to be a little bit softer because the way that we designed our recipe, it's actually a yeasted dough for our customers.
Mm-hmm.
We want to design a dough recipe that's a little bit easier for them to work with at home.
Oh, okay,
It's maybe
cool.
for like the ultra novice pizza maker.
This is perfect because
Yeah.
I never added olive oil, and I always wondered how the heck do you get olive oil into the dough? Because it doesn't seem logical that it would blend.
Totally.
So you're gonna show me right now?
We'll
Okay,
show
cool.
you.
Let's do it. I have a piece of bread stuck in my teeth that I don't want to touch because I washed my hands, but it's really bugging me right now. Okay, cool.
We do
Thank
everything by the gram. I
Oh,
don't know if that's the same.
Me too.
Yeah,
me too.
at
Yep.
home. So a scale is one of those tools when you're just getting started in baking that is essential.
Yeah, you have
you
to
want
have
to be
that.
as consistent and precise as you possibly can.
Okay.
We keep a lot of our recipes here in this book, and these are all just broken down by batch size.
Hey,
Our
get a
pizza
close up
dough-
on these numbers, okay? No, I'm just kidding.
I'm an open book. I'm happy to share my recipe with
Because
anybody.
there's so many skills in the baking process that's not in this book.
Absolutely. Basically what we've got here is a breakdown of our ingredients. As you recall, we've got flour, we've got water, salt. This dough is yeasted for our customers, but we're gonna incorporate sourdough into the dough that we make today.
Okay, cool.
And we'll follow up with some olive oil. Benji, why don't you help me out? This is
Yep.
our Trailblazer bread flour, and you can go ahead and measure out 2629.
2629.
So that's 2,629 grams.
I don't know, this seems like it might be there.
You'll be about a quarter of the way there.
A quarter? So what
Maybe
is that?
almost
1,000?
halfway.
Almost halfway?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Beautiful. We might have you join the team, Benji.
Okay, really?
I'm gonna go ahead and get some water going for us.
They say that baking is like science. Oh my See what I just did there? I corrected my mistake. It was too much. So it's 2610. I need it to be 29. Come on. There we go.
So we've got some water. We'll still have to scale that out as well. But
Okay.
we can go ahead and set our flour aside since we're good there. You go ahead and scale your water now. I've got this temped to 85 degrees.
Okay.
Since we plan to hand mix this, I've got my water a little bit warmer.
Okay, so I'm doing it to, would you say 1709?
1709.
There we go.
On the money. We've got a big container of salt.
I gotta tear it. What do you call it? Tear?
Tear.
Tear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tear. That's great.
And then the recipe calls for 66.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. I went over it a little bit, but I like things a little salty. 66-ish.
Now that we've got our salt, we'll just need a little bit of our olive oil.
Okay.
We can actually use what we've got set aside here.
131.
That's correct.
I'm guessing we're doing the starter now, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
You'll get a chance to see this machine in
Yeah.
action over here.
All right.
So it's been fermenting for about 6.5
Got
hours.
it. It looks like it's just right down here.
It is.
Oh.
This is what we call our inoculation.
Okay,
So this
yeah,
is
yeah.
just the seed that will eventually feed tonight's feed, which happens at 10
Right.
p.m.
I never knew it was that term. I just call it whatever's left at the bottom of the mason jar. The official term is the seed.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
I call it whatever's left at the bottom of the mason jar. Oh, okay, and I have another question for you.
Yes, sir.
I literally just use the same mason jar over and over and over.
That's great.
And then maybe like once every few months, I clean it out, but I keep a little starter. But have you ever heard of people literally just using the same mason jar
yeah.
forever
Oh,
and
yeah.
never cleaning it?
Absolutely.
Doesn't it like grab microbes and stuff though?
It absolutely does.
Yeah,
Good
and it will change.
Good
It'll-
and bad microbes.
But
all
you
the
can
time.
always save it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
yeah, it's
there-
smart of you to set it aside.
I do.
Always have a little bit of extra,
Well-
even if you want to tuck it away in the back of the fridge.
The extra is my mom's house. She just killed my sourdough starter. And my mom's like, just start it back up. I was like, no, mom, just give me a fresh one. I need it like active right now.
There you
so,
go.
Okay.
So this is just basically a honey gate. They use this in honey production.
Okay.
And we're just gonna loosen up these wing bolts here. And this
there you go.
extracts the sourdough starter.
Now, you are not a baker, and this looks kind of funky. This is the beginning of magic right here, okay? Can you
Yeah.
smell when it's like right and when it's wrong?
Yeah, for sure. Like ours actually smells kind of sweet.
Okay, there's this thing I think is super dorky, but hey, I'm a dork too, but I don't do it. People name their starters.
They do.
And I guess Connor has a name for his starter. What's the name?
It's true. It's Constance.
Constance. That's a
Yeah.
cool name. Why do people name their starter?
You know what, Benji? I have no idea.
I'm just like having fun. And the reason I'll tell you why people do it, a sourdough starter is something that if you don't take care of it, it can literally die or get really, really bad to the point where you think like you can't do it. But one thing that's unique about sourdough starter, it's like you can save it at any state, right?
yeah.
Do you sell sourdough starter?
We give it away for free.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so anybody who wants to bake, really my mission is to get more local bread into the hands of my community, and that's one way to do it.
There
is
you
get
go.
more people to bake at home.
You can get a little bit of constance in your kitchen.
Absolutely.
So, all right, what's next here?
We're getting ready to mix some dough.
Cool.
So I might have you
Yeah.
dirty up your hands
Let's
by
do
mixing
it.
up
Let's
some
do
dough.
it. Okay.
So So you've got your big bowl.
Yep, got my big bowl.
I like to go into the bowl with water first, but that's just my preference. You can do whatever you'd like.
So I usually do the water first too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the reason is to dissolve the salt.
In a big bakery, we'll put water into the bowl first, just so that the flour doesn't get stuck to the bowl and make a big mess.
Of course,
later
yeah.
on.
Okay, water first.
Yep.
Then
you can go in with your flour.
Oh, flour.
Or you could go in with your starter. It really doesn't matter.
Okay, no. I'm gonna follow your method. Okay, flour next.
All of it there. This will make about 12 pizzas. Then you can add your starter on top.
Do I mix it at all?
Yeah.
With my hands or what?
With your hands. Yeah.
For
Go
us?
for it.
Is there like a way to do this?
Just go
I'm like
for it.
kind of intimidated. In fact, you know what's funny? I was saying how I use my hands at home, right? I don't for this part. For this part, I use a spatula.
Oh, nice.
I've never done this before. So just go into
for
it.
it.
Wow, this is the first time I've ever done this. Okay, like I feel like such a kind of idiot doing this. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing here. Okay, you were kidding. Like you like know what to do because I was like, oh my gosh, dude, I already feel like I'm messing it up.
No, you're doing great.
Okay.
You really just want to apply as much friction as you can and incorporate the flour and water as much as possible.
Okay.
It's going to take a lot of time if you're mixing doughs by hand.
Got it, yeah.
If you're at home, you'll probably be using a KitchenAid mixer.
Oh my gosh.
You might even, be lucky enough to have a
I
mixer
should
like this
not have
back
told
at
you
home.
that I prefer using my hands because this is like, really, look at my hands right here. Look at my hands right here. Oh my gosh.
One of the other elements that bread bakers tend to incorporate into their dough mixes is what's called an auto-lease, which is just this fancy term for incorporating your flour and water and letting it rest.
Let it
you just
rest.
let it do
Before
its
you
thing.
do the salt, right?
Absolutely. And then you can incorporate your levain and your salt, and the dough builds this strength, but it also incorporates this extensibility, which allows you to stretch the dough, and it becomes a little bit more workable. I would say we're getting close to being able to add some salt to this mix, and even our sourdough starter.
So when you have all this all over your hands, how do you grab other stuff? Or do you have help? Do you have someone
some help.
Okay,
yeah.
got it. Nobody helps me at home. Like my kids don't help me. Judy doesn't help me. Like, I'm doing all this by myself.
I'll be here to help you.
Okay, cool. So what are we doing next?
Sourdough starter.
Okay,
This
sourdough.
is our sourdough starter. Some people call it levain, but it's just basically sourdough that's ripe. It's ready to add to a mix. One of my biggest pieces of advice for young bakers and even pizza makers is simplify the process as much as you can. I also respect people who are like students of the craft and they're trying to find the best ways to make things possible in the bread world and in the pizza world. But sometimes there is some merit to simplifying your process.
Honestly, I don't know. You're not even guiding me if I'm doing it right or wrong.
No, I think you're doing great.
Okay, cool. Like, do other people use their abdomen like this to like kind of control the bowl?
Absolutely.
For reals?
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm like so lost right now. This is not what I do at home.
Yeah,
What's next?
I would love to add the salt.
You're gonna add it for me?
I'll add it for you.
So we're just keeping all this here.
Keep that
okay,
there.
cool. All right, cool.
And you'll have another mixing session here.
Sweet.
So go ahead and incorporate that salt as best you can. You're mimicking building strength into this dough.
Yeah.
And so a mixer would be doing the same thing.
Oh, right.
mixer
That's
just
why
does it
I
a
just
little
keep
bit more.
doing this, right?
Exactly.
Got it. You said if I do this for about 5 to 10 more minutes, it would start looking good. At what point do you know you need to add the oil to your dough?
It's really once you build up sufficient strength. So I want to see the dough become a slightly more
like
smooth.
a ball. This is what I normally use.
we go.
See, I just go like this.
Awesome.
Is this like how you guys do it? Like that?
Much more surface area that way.
Exactly.
Which will probably help.
So if you had to guess, Connor, how much longer am I going to have of this doing
I would say 2 minutes.
Really? 2 minutes?
And then we can add the olive oil.
Got it. What do you think about my technique here? Like,
I love it.
literally just made this up. Is
I
this,
can tell that you've done this before.
yeah,
Benji.
is this something that you would see?
Yeah, this is what you might call a stretch and fold.
There you go.
You see this happen in all dough making, really. It became popular with bread making in the last decade or so.
Oh, this stretch and fold?
And this just allows you to build tension, build strength in your dough.
We're now gonna add the olive oil. I feel like this is a part that you should have done, and you were suggesting it, and I didn't listen to you. Because my question is, how do you do this?
We'll
Like
use
this?
that bench scraper,
Like this?
Just like that.
Should I
What
do
you'll
the stretch
see
and
is
fold, or the more kneading with my fingers
You
like
can
that?
knead with your fingers
Got it,
even, just to incorporate it a little bit more quickly. You'll feel the dough even break apart.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and like it'll feel like something's going wrong.
And this is normal. This is the way you would do it at home,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Probably got 3 to 5 minutes.
And how do you know when you're done incorporating that? Like when you don't see olive oil?
Yeah, and
okay,
it'll be
got
a
it.
really nice and smooth dough.
Got it. I'm literally sweating at this point, right? And I don't know, like when are you sweating too much as a baker, right?
There's no such thing, I don't think.
Because bro, I'm sweating right now. I'm trying to make sure none of this gets into this sourdough here.
You're doing great.
Okay, sorry to.
It's like a
Is this
bagel.
okay?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Oh yeah, it'll come together.
Okay.
Absolutely.
How much of your dough has sourdough in it?
90% of
Yeah,
our doughs
90%.
are sourdough.
Yeah.
We make a focaccia. Our baguettes are yeasted. We make ciabatta that's yeasted.
Yeah.
And really that just comes down to the flavor profile that we're
Yeah.
trying to achieve.
Yeah.
You absolutely can make baguettes that are sourdough. You can
Yeah.
make ciabatta that's sourdough. You
Yeah.
can make focaccia that's sourdough.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I know
yeah.
lots of bakers that do. But we are just trying to achieve a different flavor profile, something that's a little bit more authentic to the region where those breads come from.
Yeah. So Connor said I can bring it to a flat surface, which kind of is like my domain, because then I can really do this.
Beautiful.
See, I've never done this. This is new for me. Do you have a flat dough scraper?
Yeah.
There we go. That's when I was showing off to my wife this this skill right here, right here.
Oh, that's
Right
awesome.
here.
It's important that we understand that this dough is actually going to be set aside and we'll relax it for a period of time, allow it to ferment and build those nice flavors that we love about sourdough. And then we'll revisit this to make our pizzas tomorrow or the next day.
Is this good?
You did a great job.
Because I need a break now. Maybe a beer or two. So I just finished this. It's ready to like further ferment, right?
Yep.
But at what point do you cut this into your like smaller doughs?
That's a great question. I typically will cut this or divide this once it's done fermenting.
Got it. So after the 1 or 2 days,
Yeah.
because at home I do 1 or 2 days. And do you have to ball it up again?
Yeah, I typically
Got
will
it.
ball it up. And some pizza shops will do it differently. I would maybe ferment this for a day, cut it, ball it up, and then ferment it for another day.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, see, because I didn't know if I should ball it up now
Right.
and then let it ferment,
Yep.
or sometimes I let it ferment and then I ball it up. And then the question is, if I ball it up before I make the pizzas, well, don't you want it to sit a little while? So then I will literally let it sit in the dough boxes for 3 to 6 hours after I balled it up.
Any approach, really, it's like, you know, how to make the best pizza, and you can those are all the variables you can change.
You are the only person I've ever heard this from where there's different ways to do it. Now,
Absolutely.
of course, when somebody makes a YouTube video, they show you their way,
Yeah.
but no one makes a comment like, oh, by the way, you can do it this way
Yeah.
or that way. It's really up to you. That's exactly why I want to come here, because I've always had these questions and I experiment all the time. I have this little like notebook where I have all my notes of what I do in my processes. And not only do I try to switch it up and notate what was better, I go back and ask myself, why was that pizza really good, right? Or why you want to hire me, don't you?
Yeah. That makes me very happy.
But yeah, thank you for confirming that, because yeah, this is gonna ferment for 1 to 2 days, depending on what you're doing here. And now we're about to actually make some pizzas with this pizza dough that's been sitting for a while. So
The next part here is going to be taking a piece of this dough out, laying it into some flour, and we're
Okay.
going to get into actually making some
cool,
pizza.
let's do it right now. First thing you notice, Connor's putting in flour so it doesn't stick, right?
Yep, exactly.
So I always have a big bowl of flour
Yeah.
and I put it in there, put it into like a bowl like this. My question was, the flour that gets onto the dough, that's not actually the pizza dough. When you
Exactly.
cook it,
Yeah.
is that okay?
It is okay. In the bread world, we actually prefer a little bit of that flour on the outside of the crust because it gives you a different flavor composition.
Oh.
So it's like a nice contrast. The flour on the outside is like toasted and caramelized, but the dough on the inside, the bread itself, has a different flavor
Totally.
profile.
I always thought it just wasn't good for you to eat.
It's okay.
It's
Yeah,
okay,
as
a
long
little
as
bit.
it's baked.
Got
Yeah,
it.
as long as it's
All right,
baked, it's
so how are we
totally
gonna
cool.
do this? Are we gonna take this out?
Lay down a little bit of bench flour
Yep.
here. You know, and you could absolutely take this dough and
Okay.
plop it into the
Right,
bowl.
right.
The way I was trained, and I actually worked at a pizza shop back in college, which was pretty ironic, you know, as far
Yeah,
as the
yeah.
bread making journey. But basically, this is serving as, you know, a way to keep the dough from sticking.
Got it, yeah,
So I'm
for
gonna
sure.
go ahead here and just divide this piece of dough, and you want to move relatively swiftly here. And you can see this dough is nice and active.
Yep.
And so what I want to do is I want to already think about encouraging the crust. So we like a nice pillowy crust on the outside. So I'm just pressing down on the inside and I'm establishing where my crust will be. So as you can see, it's like a slight circle in the middle. And I'm just going to begin the stretching process here. Just by pressing down, guiding the dough to the outside. You want to be pretty firm, but you want to be swift as well. And you really just want to avoid the dough from sticking to your hands, to the bench. This dough is really elastic also. So it's gonna wanna really stretch out. So really the dough is doing most of the work. I'm just kind of guiding it on its way.
You're using gravity for it to stretch itself out, you're saying?
Exactly.
Got it. All right.
And I'm keeping a good substantial amount of dough, about an inch, to establish that crust.
Yeah.
And you do want your pizza to be as round as possible. Some people like a square pie, but...
What's up with throwing the dough in the air? Is that a real thing, or is that just for show?
No, it's a real thing.
It's a real thing.
These doughs in sourdough pizza doesn't really like it so much.
Because it breaks, right?
It does break. It's ready.
I've tried to do it and I've ruined some doughs. Okay. All right, so
that's how you learn.
Okay, so the toppings, we got something that looks like pepperoni. You want to guide us through these?
So that's Coro pepperoni.
Okay.
We've got our very own red sauce here. It's got a little bit of a kick to it.
Nice, I like
We make it
that.
here in the bakery. Some fresh arugula.
Yes.
Maybe some lemon juice to dress it.
And that'll be at the end, right?
That'll be at the very end. Goat cheese here, crumbled
Same
goat
thing
cheese.
for at the end, though,
Yeah,
right?
we could do that at the end.
And then what about your cheeses? What's your kind of like philosophy on cheese?
Mozzarella. So fresh mozzarella. We also have Parmigiano Reggiano. So just fresh parm. We'll grate that over the pizza. And then this is a fun cheese from Ferndale Farmstead. It's called Scamorza. It's really fun because it's got kind of a smoky flavor.
Yeah.
They also hang it by these ropes to age the cheese, which I find pretty cool. And it's just got this awesome flavor. The biggest thing to keep in mind as like a beginner pizza maker is you want to keep this dough from sticking to anything. You want to be able to successfully get this dough into the oven without it, you know, falling apart or getting stuck to your pizza peel or anything like that. What I'm going to do is get a little bit more bench flour onto my pizza peel. We're just using one of our proofing boards that we have here in the bakery. And I'm gonna go ahead and transfer this dough, and now I can begin topping my pizza. One little test you can do is the little shimmy, just to make sure that your dough's not gonna stick. So I'll go down first with my sauce. And really this is just baker's preference here. You can put as much or as little sauce as you'd like. I would say that's about maybe a quarter cup. And this pizza will probably serve 2 people. It's about a 14-inch pie. And the dough weight was about a pound, so 450 grams. I like to go all the way out to the side, all the way out to the crust here. So next I'm gonna go on with actually the Scamorza cheese. So this, like I said, it's almost like a smoked cheddar. It melts really, really well. It's great for pizzas like this. Our sauce has a little bit of a kick to it as well. And again, you know, this is really baker's preference. You can put whatever toppings you want on your pizza. We'll do a little fresh mozzarella.
Fresh mozzarella, that's like bold, you know, because it's kind of, it's very moist.
Absolutely.
But because you have a hot oven, it's totally okay, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's hard. If you don't have a hot oven, having like a really wet ingredient,
it can
you know
be
what
messy.
I'm talking about,
Absolutely. I'll do a few slices of this Coro pepperoni. This is one of my favorites. It just bakes really well. It doesn't burn up or cup up like some of the other pepperonis.
Do you know they sell pepperoni that literally cups up? It's meant to cup up.
Absolutely.
Hormel. If you want to sponsor me, Hormel, you know, it's all good.
Go on with a little bit of olive oil. You do want to be careful here. This is a wet ingredient that would actually allow this pizza dough to stick, so you want to be very careful. But I'll just incorporate it onto the crust here just to get a nice little bit of color on the crust as it bakes. And this is ready to go.
Okay,
I'm gonna do one more shimmy check. So now you can see we're up to 460, which that'll be really helpful. And we've got all the space in the world here. We could bake, I mean, if we wanted to, probably 30 pies all at once. So I'm just gonna go in, drop that pizza down right onto the
And that's a
stone.
skill in itself, that little shimmy, right?
We'll go ahead and set a timer here just so we don't forget about it.
Boom. All right, let's get a close up. I'm gonna add my own little tip in. I'm just curious about what you would think about this. We set a timer, but I always say, don't walk away. Like, you wanna be paying attention both with your eyes, with your nose, as well as just like with your mind. Because if you start doing something else, sometimes like 1 or 2 minutes can just ruin everything.
100%.
Yeah.
You will get humbled very quickly when you've got 100 loaves of sourdough bread in this oven and you think that you can just rely on that timer. Oh,
once
you'll burn some bread.
Once I did a live stream where I was teaching people how to make my sourdough pizza, right? Back then I would broil the pizza at the end, right? Just to get that like leoparding.
Absolutely.
I left the broiler on, so when I did the second pizza, I didn't have it on bake. I had it on broil, and it come on live YouTube. Wow. It would blacken the whole pizza. I'm like, oh my gosh, because I wasn't paying attention, right? And even though I was live streaming for you guys remember that. This is why that was my humbling moment. Like, I will still live stream, but I'll never take my eyes and ears and nose off. I can smell when the pizza is done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
When the bread is done, there's like a different smell in the air that you can absolutely tell.
Or you can smell when it's starting to burn.
For sure.
Like, I smell it. Okay.
We're we're getting there. Really what I want to go for is just a little bit more color here.
Yeah, yeah.
This is actually what we use to load baguettes into the oven.
Oh yeah, he's turning it.
What's nice is we've established a nice crust on the bottom.
Yeah.
Just from that stone. The back of the oven is a little bit hotter than the front, so you can tell how this got a little bit darker brown than the front. So I just flipped it around 180 degrees. We'll give it a couple more minutes and we'll be ready to eat some pizza.
You might have to leave it in there longer and adjust it. Like with my oven, I know my oven so well. It's not a fancy oven like this. There's a hot spot in there.
Absolutely.
So if I want a perfect, Instagram perfect pizza, I have to turn it just like you did. Isn't that interesting? You even have it with this oven, right? The back is hotter than the front, and that's probably even more normal at a home oven, not as consistent.
Yeah. That'll help you become a better pizza maker, baker, person.
All right, we just busted it out. How long do you let it sit before you cut it?
I might let it sit a few minutes.
Okay,
Depends
cool.
how hungry you are.
I'm very hungry. I literally cut it and burn my mouth like within 30 seconds because when I'm hungry, it's gotta eat. We're gonna taste this pizza.
There we go, right out of the oven.
I have this thing about pizza slicers too. It needs to be a good pizza slicer. Don't go to a 99-cent store for a pizza slicer.
Yeah,
okay, cool. Grab me one.
You can even,
My God.
I can even smell the sour.
Is it gonna burn my mouth? I'll let you be the guinea pig, because I was joking about burning my mouth, but I actually don't want to burn my mouth. And like literally, I just burned my finger.
It's pretty hot.
Really hot. Let it cool down for a little bit.
But it's pretty good.
That's what you want to see in your dough. What do you call that? Bubbling?
Yeah.
Pockets?
Nice
What is it?
fermentation there. Nice job, Benji.
Thank you. Well, you did this, but I think I should make a pizza next.
Let's do it.
Okay. My turn, baby. Okay, first this, right? A little bit of flour. Is that enough?
That's perfect. That'll just keep it from sticking.
Do I cut it with this?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Just like that. I'm gonna do the same thing up top. Awesome. And this you've done many, many times before, I'm sure. You might open up a pizza shop.
Yeah, next door. Let's get the other unit next door. No.
There we go. That's looking good.
Oh wait, you're saying like this is about the size?
Oh yeah.
Okay, got it.
You could bring it out maybe slightly.
just for show. Just for show.
That's awesome.
I like it pretty thin. And then a little shimmy shimmy. When I saw these spoons, I was like, that's a spoon right there. Tell me when you think that's enough sauce and I'll spread it out.
I think that's great. I like that method.
So one thing I'm gonna do is not do mozzarella. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Will this still taste good?
I think it'll be great.
Okay, cool. I think this is salty enough though.
Yeah.
I don't think you need it. This is something I don't do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do just because it's your bakery. And then with your finger? With your finger?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay. How far back should I make it? Got it.
Just like right off the edge, a little bit further.
Right?
Yeah, that's great.
Whoa,
Beautiful.
my first time.
Beautiful. Yep.
Close this up.
Awesome.
Which one? Right here?
Yes, sir.
Just press it?
Yeah, just click that button. A natural.
Is it on?
Yeah, it's on.
But you gotta watch it the whole time. I'm most nervous about this part, so you're gonna have to guide me.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You got this.
So how do I do it? I almost like grab this. Okay.
And I'm just sneak that peel right underneath the pizza.
Okay.
Yep, that's great.
And then what?
And try to bring it closer to you.
How do I
there
do
you
that?
Go. That's great.
Hey, I can't do it, dude. I'm like literally like pushing it farther. Yeah, you're gonna have to do this part.
Got it.
There we go. Whew.
It gets hot. It gets
Have
hot.
the expert do that part. Hopefully I don't have customers in here.
There you go. Wow. Beautiful.
Do a little bit of this.
I like this one. Smells more like pepperoni too. This is gonna be so good. Oh, that's awesome.
I have like a commercial grade Dexter pizza cutter. I love that you have this because this is kind of a secret thing. Like a lot of people would never do this, you know?
Yeah.
Arugula is like a really good complement to it. No flop, baby. Cheers.
Cheers.
The arugula, I'm telling you, don't skimp on this. This is good. I literally just eat it like this.
That's a game changer.
No,
Nice work.
I like the cheese from yours more because of the mozzarella. I just was experimenting. I didn't want the moisture from it. So I was like, you know, let's make the one a little bit drier, you know?
I prefer this one. That one was a little bit too oily for me.
That was probably from cheese.
Yeah, from the
I will get.
mozzarella.
All right, you guys. So I know that was a long episode. Well, that was sourdough pizza, trained properly from a baker. So thank you so much, Connor.
Thanks, Benji.
Thanks for thanks for having me. And if you guys are in the Edmonds, Washington area, honestly, anywhere in Seattle, come here. They're making some amazing bread. And then they don't make the pizza, but you can buy the pizza dough from here, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Pizza dough, pizza sauce.
Yeah.
We'll get you hooked up.
Yeah.
All the cheese you could ever imagine.
Cheese too?
We got cheese
That's
up,
awesome.
up there as well.
And then next door, we're going to be opening up a pizza spot. So watch out for that. Yeah, you guys let us know in the comments what was the biggest takeaway for you in terms of sourdough pizza and what you learned. And hopefully we'll do something else in the future.
That'd be fun. Anytime, Benji. Thank you.